Governors and emergency officials sound the alarm as Hurricane Matthew takes aim at the East Coast. I'm Don Champion in Daytona Beach, Florida, with the latest on preparations coming up.
A Morgan County woman vacationing in Florida is preparing for her second natural disaster.
And the battle between the governor and House Speaker ramps up in Frankfort.
This is WKYT News at 5.
It's a story that affects millions of people. The hurricane threatening the entire Atlantic coast of Florida. Evacuations are underway all across the state.
At least 11 deaths are being blamed on Matthew as it slammed the Caribbean. CBS News correspondent Don Champion has the latest from Daytona Beach, Florida. It's our top story at 5.
People along the East Coast are being warned Hurricane Matthew could be devastating.
The screens around the porches, hurricane screens, so we'll be prepared for it.
Florida's governor issued mandatory evacuations for barrier islands.
If Matthew directly impacts Florida, there will be massive destruction that we haven't seen in years.
Wednesday, drivers waited in lines to fill up at gas stations while supplies flew off shelves. Tourists are also preparing. The LaFrance family is cutting their vacation short and heading back to Canada.
I think we should get out just in case it is Category 4, but everyone's telling us, yes, we should start heading home.
Matthew is being called the strongest storm to threaten this region in more than a decade. Some places could also see 10 inches of rain. In South Carolina, Interstate 26 was packed with drivers racing to get out of the storm's path. This weekend, it could hit as a Category 2 or 3 storm.
Our goal is to make sure that no lives are lost, that people get moved out safely, and that they get moved back safely.
Ahead of the storm, federal emergency officials pre-positioned supplies to respond to the disaster. Don Champion, CBS News, Daytona Beach, Florida.
One Kentucky woman has decided to ride out Hurricane Matthew at her vacation home in Florida, and it won't be the first time she's experienced a natural disaster. WKYT's Caitlin Sentner joins us now at the live desk with more. Caitlin?
A Kentuckian vacationing in Florida is preparing for what could be the second natural disaster she's experienced. Jennifer Eisen hid out in her basement during the devastating March 2012 tornado, and now she's closing the shutters on her condo in Florida.
So this is the intercoastal down here, and I can hear some people across the way. There's some mobile homes across over here, and I can hear some people hammering and getting their shutters put on.
Eisen is vacationing at Boynton Beach. It sits north of Miami and south of West Palm. Today she's closed her shutters and has gotten prepared to weather the storm Florida's governor says will be devastating to the state. Eisen says she went to the store and grabbed the last grocery cart to stock up on water, non-perishable food items, flashlights, and batteries.
It's quite interesting to hear people at the stores. You know, some people were pretty calm about it. Other people were, talking about the hurricane parties and make sure, don't forget your batteries and don't forget your margaritas. I can definitely tell a change in everyone's attitude today, considering that we're just a day out from it.
Eisen will be weathering the storm with her mom and her brother. She says she's a little nervous because she knows this storm won't pass quickly. At the live desk, Caitlin Sentner, WKYT.
Caitlin, thank you. We hope she stays safe. Hurricane Matthew is expected to hit north of Boynton Beach toward Daytona.
Hurricane Matthew will not have a direct impact on our weather, but we're looking for some big changes for the weekend. Let's check now with our chief meteorologist, Chris Bailey. Chris?
Yeah, as we get closer to the weekend, we do get some much cooler air into town, but between now and then, Sam, it looks pretty darn good across most of central and eastern Kentucky. Even the weekend looks good. It's just going to be a little cooler. Starting to see some sun versus clouds out there again this afternoon, and with those ice crystal clouds showing up on the western horizon, you know what that means, sunset watchers. Should be another fiery one. Low 80s into most of central and eastern Kentucky as of now. Throughout this evening, it's a nice one. Low and mid 70s, 7 o'clock, mid and upper 60s by 11 with a mainly clear sky by then. Here you go with some of those ice crystal clouds coming in from the west, though your Defender radar network, not a whole lot to really write home about. Two fronts to our west. Not worried about front number 1. It's front number 2 that provides the shot of chill coming in later this weekend. And we continue to watch the latest from Hurricane Matthew It is still a major hurricane with winds of 120 miles per hour. It's a little more ragged right now, Category 3, simply because it's been interacting with land. Once it gets a little farther away from Cuba, heading into the Bahamas, less land for it to interact with, should begin to strengthen again, and odds favor this being a Category 4 hurricane as it makes landfall on the east coast of Florida. And when I come back here in a little more than 5 minutes from now, guys, we'll go in depth on this track and get you up close and personal for loved ones or friends who may be vacationing or living down into Florida. And we'll also show you what it looks like from one of our computer models. We give you a virtual view as this hurricane comes ashore into Florida. That's in 5 minutes.
Thank you, Chris. A political storm in Kentucky. The battle between the Republican governor and the Democratic House Speaker continued. In a news conference today, Greg Stumbo announced he is launching a committee to investigate the governor after a lawmaker accused the governor of threatening him. WKYT's Hillary Thornton is in Frankfurt to break down the accusations and the governor's response.
It was a morning full of serious allegations here at the Capitol, starting with House Speaker Greg Stumbo announcing the launch of a new investigative committee that will look into the actions of Governor Matt Bevin. Those accusations are ones that the governor's chief of staff is calling a, quote, complete and total farce.
The new committee, made up of 5 House members, including Democratic Representative Jim Wayne of Louisville, who will chair the committee. Speaker Stumbo says this is not an impeachment committee, but instead a fact-finding group that will look into potentially illegal actions by the governor, specifically focusing on issues with the East Brannon Road project. That project in Jessamine County, which is in Representative Russ Meyer's district. Now, back in August, Representative Meyer releasing a threatening voicemail left to him from the governor.
It raises serious questions as to the retaliation that may have been used by the administration concerning a duly elected official not doing what the governor forcefully asked him to do.
Governor Bevin's office responding immediately following Speaker Stumbo's announcement.
This Brannon Road project that Speaker Stumbo keeps mentioning, it was never canceled, it was delayed. When did that become public? Last spring. Why are we just now talking about this 34 days before an election?
Now, the first meeting date for that investigative committee has not yet been set. Speaker Stumbo says that is up for the chairman to decide. At the Capitol, Hillary Thornton, WKYT.
And there's more. The governor's office released a voicemail that he says was left by Speaker Stumbo to a Republican member of the new committee. Coming up on WKYT News at 6 tonight, you will hear part of that voicemail.
An armed man robbed a Lexington check cashing business in the middle of the day with a customer inside. Lexington police say it happened around 1 this afternoon at Advance America Cash Advance on Southland Avenue. Police tell us the man walked in the store, showed the clerk his gun, and ran away with cash. Police are looking for a skinny black man in his early 20s, about 5 feet 9 inches tall, wearing a gray hoodie and jeans with multiple zippers on it. If you have any information, you're asked to call Lexington Police.
A new Lexington council member was sworn in today, and with her appointment today, there are now more women than men on the city council for the first time in Lexington's history. Mayor Jim Gray introduced Kathy Ploman this morning as the new council member of the 12th District. Ploman is a former employee of WKYT and the former president of the United Way of the Bluegrass, where she oversaw campaigns that raised more than $50,000.
I want Lexington to be the best it can be. I want to take that passion, I want to take that experience, that knowledge to a new and different place, and that is at the council table.
Ploman will serve out the remainder of Russ Hensley's term. She was running against Hensley for the 12th district seat, but Hensley dropped out of the race and resigned his seat last week. A Southwest Airlines flight in Louisville was evacuated today after a report of smoke in the cabin of the plane. It happened just before 9:30 this morning while a flight headed to Baltimore from Louisville International Airport was loading to depart. Firefighters say the smoke was caused by a Samsung device that overheated. There was minor damage to the carpet on the plane where the device was dropped, but there was no other damage. Airport officials say there were 75 people on board the plane. No injuries have been reported.
A man has been charged with attempted murder after another man was set on fire. Our county-by-county coverage at 5 begins in Hart County. State police say Jason Kidziro has been arrested and charged with attempted murder in connection to the case. On Sunday, state police say someone called them and said someone had poured gas on his relative and set them on fire. Troopers say 25-year-old Roger Buckner has serious burns to most of his body. He was taken to U of L Hospital and listed in critical condition. In Letcher County, police are investigating after a body was found in an apartment. Officials tell us a family member found the man's body at the Mountain Breeze Apartments Tuesday afternoon. Police officers in Jenkins said they believe this to be an isolated event. Kentucky State Police are investigating. They have not released the man's name.
Coming up in 12 minutes, we'll tell you why these Gilmore Girls fans lined up at a couple of Lexington coffee shops early this morning.
And Johnson & Johnson is warning that some insulin pumps could be taken over by hackers. That story coming up in Better Living.
Now, your hour-by-hour forecast with Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey.
Beautiful summertime weather out there. Okay, September version of summertime here into the first full week of October. A lot of upper 70s and low 80s across the land. Let's look outside, see what we've got to go along with the mild temperatures. How about a mix of sun and clouds showing up across the entire area? Though, draw your attention to Moorhead and Jackson. More in the way of sun than what we've had across parts of central Kentucky, where you've had at least a little bit of cloud cover coming in from time to time. Upper 70s, low 80s for the better part of the afternoon. Defender Radar Network has nothing going on across the entire state. Cold front number 1 is off to our west. Not worried about that one. Not really worried about this second front. It has some true wintertime air coming in behind it. It's snowing into many states here across the northern Rockies into southern parts of Canada. No, we're not worried about anything like that, though that front arrives on Saturday to really take the edge off the temperatures. Tomorrow, similar to today, 80-ish for a high. Upper 70s, low 80s, you get the idea. Walk you through the next few days and into the change on your Saturday. Forecast tomorrow morning, mid and upper 50s. Forecast tomorrow afternoon, upper 70s, low 80s. Let's go through tomorrow night, and it's pretty much the same old, though the numbers come down just a little bit for Friday. Look what happens now in eastern Kentucky on Friday. Same model that yesterday tried to spit out a very light shower is trying to do that again today. Not really sold on that. I think you have a better chance maybe Friday night into early Saturday. But look at Saturday morning. Here comes a cold front on top of the area. Front, by the way, does not have very much juice at all. Mid and upper 60s, and then a quick drop as we get into the late afternoon. By around 7, 8 o'clock or so, we are into the low and mid 50s with dry air causing those numbers to continue to drop. The latest on Matthew, Category 3, 120 miles per hour sustained winds. It's going to continue to increase, and the official forecast now brings it right on top of the east coast of Florida, where hurricane warnings are in effect. That's a Category 4, and if that does make landfall, that would be the first major hurricane to actually make landfall across the United States since 2005. It's been a long, long time, and then that storm may kind of work its way into a little loop as we go into late weekend or early next week. Show you something that is really neat to see, then also scary at the same time. Here's a virtual view from one of our computer models of the eye of the storm coming in. Now, we're looking from land out toward the water. Here's the eye at 3, 4 o'clock into Friday morning, and it is right on top of the Cape Canaveral area, Titusville, and toward Daytona Beach as we go through Friday midday. The eye of the storm hugging the land. Then look what happens. It tries to work toward the west and just offshore from the Jacksonville area. And from there, it turns the corner. Again, we're giving you the view from the beach looking out into the ocean. Here's Hilton Head, Tybee Island, over towards Savannah, and eventually working toward Charleston and the Myrtle Beach area as we go into Friday night and early Saturday. That does not impact our weather, but boy, that just really drives home how that is going to impact so many coastal areas from Florida to the Carolinas. Here, guys, we get a cold front on Saturday. It's mainly dry. Through the next 7 days, it does turn chillier.
That is a real bird's eye view that really gives you the perspective
and you follow that storm right up the coast. That's a scary part. That may, deviate a little bit over water, back inland, over water, but scary to look at.
Sure. Chris, thank you.
Live look at Lexington rush hour traffic. The collision at Clays Mill in Pasadena has been cleared, so all lanes are open there. We're trying to get back to normal. We have that issue on Nicholasville Road. We had the restricted flow prior to Man O' War for the construction, and a stalled car there now, too, so that's not helping things, but not seeing too bad of a backup, just slow traffic in front of the mall, so we expect that this time of the day. To Frankfort, 31 minutes. To Winchester, about 25. Now back to you in the studio.
2 fallen firefighters honored in a ceremony in Frankfort today. We'll take you to that ceremony next.
And a Russell County woman is in jail accused of helping people get prescription drugs when they didn't need them. Now police say she did it. Coming up in a report at 5:30.
2 names were added to Kentucky's Fallen Firefighter Memorial in Frankfort today. Zachary Clevenger worked for both Estill and Montgomery County Fire. Billy Ray Jarvis was a member of the Allen Volunteer Fire Department.
Their names were added during the annual Fallen Firefighters Memorial Service, which honors all Kentucky firefighters who have given their lives in the line of duty. WKYT Sabir Rayford was at the memorial service and has more from Frankfort.
The ceremony is a way to pay tribute to those who paid the ultimate sacrifice. Today, 2 names were added to the wall and 2 families said goodbye one last time.
To see his name in stone, it's a gut-wrenching reality of how very real this is.
It's been more than 9 months since Christina Clevenger lost her husband, Zach Clevenger. The 30-year-old went home to get some rest after fighting a fire in Estill County and never woke up.
We take it just a day at a time. So
Christina says losing her husband hasn't been easy, but during her time of mourning, she's been surrounded by family.
We're pretty close-knit. We spend a third of our lives with each other.
They may not be blood, but they are brothers.
We gather as firefighters to honor and remember our fallen brothers.
Troy Randall is the state president of Brothers Keepers. He says he didn't personally know Clevenger or Billy Ray Jarvis of Allen Volunteer Fire Department, but he says he wanted to support them anyway.
This is a small thing that we can do to bring their memory back to life.
The memorial started out with a salute to the fallen heroes. Jonathan McNamara worked with Clevenger in Montgomery County. He says he remembers him as a smart and helpful guy.
He was definitely the type of officer and firefighter that you wanted beside you whenever you went into a burning building.
As for Christina, she says today was a reminder to make every day count.
Just live life to the very fullest because you don't ever know when it'll be their last call. So
4 scholarship funds have been set up in Clevenger's name. In Frankfort, Sabir Rayford, WKYT.
And the scholarships combine Clevenger's passion for education and fire safety. His wife says those funds have now been awarded. Fans in Lexington of the show Gilmore Girls were treated to some free coffee this morning. Today is the 16th birthday of the TV show, and to promote its upcoming revival of the show, Netflix sponsored Luke's Diner pop-ups all around the country. 2 Lexington coffee shops took part this morning, Coffee Times and Southland Perk. The 2 cafes gave out hundreds of cups of free coffee. Some fans were lined up before 6 this morning.
This is something that true Gilmore Girls fans have been waiting for years because Gilmore Girls did not end how it should have. It had the same writers for the first 6 seasons. They got cut off. The 7th season wasn't what it was supposed to be.
The revival of Gilmore Girls premieres November 25th on Netflix.
Volunteers from a central Kentucky church in Haiti as Hurricane Matthew slammed that country. How they're dealing with the aftermath coming up at 5:30.
Why Bed Bath & Beyond may be scrapping its 20% off coupons and some superfood alternatives. That's coming up in Better Living. It is time now for Better Living, health, education, and consumer news that impacts your life. Today is National Kale Day, but if you don't like kale or other so-called superfoods, there are ways to still get the health benefits. Seth Kovar shares some superfood alternatives.
Quinoa or kale not your thing? Fear not. According to Health.com nutritionists, there are plenty of healthy alternatives to so-called superfoods. For example, cabbage is a great choice if you're looking for something similar to cauliflower. Both vegetables are known to boost immune systems, act as natural detoxifiers, and guard against cancer and heart disease. Along the same lines, go with cranberries if you want an alternative to goji berries. If you're in that camp, you aren't alone. Many people have found goji berries to be too bitter. But researchers don't get bitter at all when they talk about cranberries. One study published in the Journal of Nutrition found they have a type of antioxidant that boosts cells' immune response to cold and flu. Plus, studies have shown they're effective in preventing urinary tract infections. And it doesn't end there. Researchers shown that chickpeas have similar benefits to quinoa. And if you're over chia seeds, experts say sesame seeds boost blood levels of antioxidants, plus fight bad LDL cholesterol for people with high levels. So if you're looking to branch out a bit, the options as well as the benefits seem plentiful. For today's Health Minute, I'm Seth Kovar.
Johnson & Johnson is warning more than 100,000 medical patients who use certain insulin pumps they could be targeted by hackers. In a letter, Johnson & Johnson said its Animas One Touch Ping insulin pump has a bug causing a potential cybersecurity risk. Hackers could hijack the device and force it to deliver unauthorized and possibly lethal insulin doses. But the company said the probability of that happening is extremely low, and there have not been any reports of actual attempts to hack the Animas One Touch Ping device. Johnson & Johnson also said the pump has features for advanced protection should patients be concerned. And Bed Bath & Beyond may be getting rid of those 20% off coupons. The retailer is trying to get a bigger piece of the online shopping market by testing a new Beyond Plus loyalty program. There's a $29 a year membership fee with free shipping and 20% off every purchase. Now, here's what's coming up for you at 5:30.